Cory got bullied on the bus.
Well, I held my own.
They ripped your underwear.
Great. An episode with my sister. Hey, I'm Cory Hepola. I'm a husband, a dad, and we live in the Twin Cities. I was born and raised in Otter Tail County, Minnesota. Growing up, I was in such a hurry to leave that I never really got to know my home. What did I miss? What changed? I was gonna find out.
Are you so glad that everybody wanted you to be a part of season 2?
No. I always say I'm not like my brother, where I don't like all the attention, which you love.
My sister, Chelsea? Yeah, she's 3 years younger than me. I'd say we're pretty close, very close.
God, and you were annoying in the morning. Like, you would chomp your ice and your orange juice and just, yeah.
Yeah, really, really close. I mean, look at us here. Yellow Jacket pride. In fact, Chelsea's still a Yellow Jacket. She's a 4th grade teacher here at home in Perham.
It seemed like you were always interested in teaching, mentoring.
Yeah, so when I was in 4th grade, that's when I decided I wanted to teach, and I wanted to teach 4th grade.
Why did it click in 4th grade?
I just loved 4th grade. My teacher was Mrs. McEachran. For me, I'm able to have conversations with them and deep conversations. So I have relationships still with a lot of my 4th graders that I've had in the past.
They come back and
see me, and I see them out and about and go to their events, which is also really nice about being a small town.
At 18, though, she didn't think she'd be back home or in a small town. Chelsea went to college at Minnesota State Moorhead, then student taught in St. Paul. Now, this was the mid-2000s. It was much more difficult to get a teaching job in Minnesota, so she didn't know where she'd end up.
I remember I applied probably 60 different places and was up against a couple hundred people for a job, where now it's the complete opposite.
Yeah, now schools are almost desperate for people. And that's not just a rural Minnesota thing, it's a statewide issue. In fact, I saw this state report. It shows 70% of districts in Minnesota say they're significantly or very significantly impacted by the teacher shortage. And that number's rising. It's only getting worse. Now, Chelsea did get a teaching job in northern Minnesota in Thief River Falls. She was there for 2 years before an elementary position opened up at home in Perham.
It was hard the first couple of years because trying to find my place.
And then do I call them Mr. or Mrs. or do I call them their first names?
Right.
Or?
And then there were a few people who liked everybody to know that I was their student. And so then I just felt, it was hard. It was tricky.
Yeah.
No, I get it. I think as we get older, time seems to move quicker. So to those teachers, they remembered Chelsea as a student. And it didn't feel like that long ago to them. Here, they remembered her like this. That little girl. There she is in kindergarten. She's so cute. Actually, that's the picture.
So we shared a cubby in kindergarten. So he was AM, I was PM, or the other way around, and we shared a cubby.
Okay, it's hard to see here, but there are 2 names on that cubby. Chelsea and Andy, her husband. They were in the same kindergarten class. They graduated together, although they never dated in high school or even really hung out as friends. They actually connected at the end of college, hit it off, and have been together ever since. And now, they have a 10-year-old daughter, Drew, my niece.
You think you could do that?
You want to teach me?
Sure.
Do you think you can lead?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Can you help me with mine first?
Yep.
Since you know what you're doing?
Yep. Okay.
Red button?
Yep, and you pull it up,
Okay.
and then you push that button right there.
This one?
Yep, and then you just push the
Push the gas? Okay, so now I got that up.
Yep, okay. You good? Okay.
So that's the lake that we grew up on. You remember it, right? Camille and I did the pontoon ride back in season 1. Hi, guys! Chelsea and I spent a lot of time here together as kids. That lake's very special. She and Andy were married in my parents' backyard along the lake, which is just down the road, about a quarter of a mile from their house.
So you kind of got like a Everybody Loves Raymond type of dynamic here.
They don't show up, though, unexpectedly. Although every morning they do come to pick up the dog to take him for a walk.
When Chelsea and Andy moved back to Perham, they knew this is where they wanted to stay. They had a dream of living at the lake. And not just any lake, this lake. So they saved, bought a lot, and then built.
There's so many details when you're building your own house
Yeah.
that you get to go through, which is kind of fun, but then kind of overwhelming too.
Well, we had like 2 years that we were planning. Right when we started building, we applied for the Big Build incentive through Otter Tail County, and we ended up qualifying for that. So that was really exciting.
Oh, the Big Build. Love it. It's a unique way to recruit and retain. The Big Build is Otter Tail County's housing initiative. It launched in 2020 with the goal of expanding housing opportunities and reinvestment throughout the county, offering up to a $15,000 property tax rebate for future homeowners, builders, and developers.
Andy always says he doesn't ever want to go on vacation because he says people vacation here, so why would I go somewhere when this is where people vacation? So we don't ever go anywhere. We're just always here.
Yeah, Perham keeps growing. Now, when we first started school in the 80s, everyone was in one building, K through 12. And in the early 90s, they added an elementary school, then built a middle school, and now a brand new high school.
I've always thought our community was really supportive.
And I think there are so many community leaders here that know, like, hey, our ability to be successful is around the school.
Correct, yeah.
You know, if we have good schools, we get good people here. There's, you know, and then those people come back and then they have kids. And I think we've had some really good community leaders that have understood that.
Yeah, strong schools is a key to strong communities.
And our schools needed to be strong the past couple of years with COVID. Kids and teachers sent home, forced to adapt to an online learning model.
Has anything changed for you over this time, or how you feel, or how people respond to teachers in general?
I feel like we're more respected, actually, is the feel I get. I had parents who were like listening to me trying to teach my 25 students, and they were like, I don't know how you do it, because you have one over here that's like doing cartwheels, and you know, I feel like I've gotten a little more respect.
Our teachers are asked to do more and more all the time. It's too much, really. Everyone is feeling overloaded and exhausted right now. We as parents, we as a community, we as a state need to recognize and support this. Their job is so critical because they stay with us forever.
You know, we grew up with the two best parents anyone could ever ask for, right? They were there, they were selfless, and yet it still takes other people in your life to kind of say, hey, I believe in you, and teaching is a big part of that.
Takes a village. There are 5 adults. You need to have 5 adults to be able to have a relationship with, which...
Like outside the
like,
family? Or parents and then...
I don't know.
Well, parents are adults.
I haven't done the research. I just heard it.
Because it could be 7 then, if it's, you know, your parents, and it could be 5 more.
Well, that was nice. She's fun.
You never finished the story. The story, did you think we'd forget?
Cory got bullied on the bus.
Fine.
They ripped your underwear. It was bad. And so then he told my mom that I would never make it. I'd never survive the bus.
You guys, what? I remember they gave me a wedgie up the back, and so I ripped it. My underwear, you know, it had in the Sharpie Cory on the back, and it was just ripped apart. And I do remember wanting to protect my little sister.
You know, it's so funny. I was about the age of my kids now when it happened. All right, not to change the subject, but did I tell you what my 6-year-old son said? He asked me if he was adopted, and I told him no, and I could see his mind working. And he thought about it for a few seconds, and then he asked, well, Dad, do you think Aunt Chelsea would adopt me so that I could go to Perham schools?
How do you feel this went? You think this was fun? I think you did great.
I wouldn't classify it as fun, but
You did great.
you should hear my heart rate.
It didn't seem it, because you looked.
Wow, this is it, huh? You know, I always like to ask myself after every experience, good or bad, what I learned. So, what did we learn here?
Woo!
Where do we go? Back in.
I don't know. Yeah, back into the sauna.
As you may have picked up on, especially early on, I've not always been the biggest fan of winter. Growing up, I would say I was more of an indoor winter kind of guy.
I didn't know it just popped up like that.
Yep. That's why they call them pop-ups.
But winter doesn't have to be a time to just stay inside and hibernate. Look at all the beauty all around us. You can't get this everywhere. Snowshoeing inside a snow globe, snowmobiling on a lake, ice fishing. We are blessed with 4 full seasons here.
What do you think, Cory? Can you see it? Little heaven, little paradise?
You can build your dream house, pursue your passion, and maintain work-life balance. And even if you want to stay inside, boom! You can do that too. So, what did we learn? Well, I guess that's up to you.